Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 22 of the Game and Pubcast. I'm Martin. I've got Tom and Duncan with me.
Hello.
Good evening.
Had a good week since we last spoke.
It's been a very good week for gaming, yes.
Happened, isn't it? Don't know if you want to just jump straight in, or do you want to go through what you've played the last we've last spoke?
Well, I've been playing Receiving My Steam Deck back, so getting that set up.
Easy.
Yay! A 19-month-old Steam Deck, and they replaced it because there was a problem that I've had since it was about 1 month old.
It's good service.
Fantastic service. And it's gone all the way to Prague, and then a new one's come all the way from Netherlands. So very happy. Well done, Steam. Yeah. But no, that's minor thing, I think, because it's been reveal week, isn't it?
It has been lots of stuff announced,
and I think I don't know. I think 2 out of 3 of us might be slightly excited for the thing that was released. It was leaked early. Was GTA 6? GTA 6 is coming very soon, isn't it?
2025.
Yeah, so not soon at all.
Soonish.
But then, I mean, GTA 5, I remember they announced that about 2 years before it eventually came out. So that's why they've just tried to be as general as possible, I think.
Going to be in Vice City, isn't it?
Yes, Vice City, and it's got a main character called Lucia. Maybe her unnamed partner as well. They're a bit sort of Bonnie and Clyde-ish. But yeah, it's obviously no gameplay. But it's I mean, it's quite funny. I've seen people complaining online saying, "Oh, it all just looks like it's all TikTok stuff and all this kind of thing." I'm like, do you not realise what GTA 6 does or GTA does? They satirize all the the things of the time. So at the moment, it's going to satirize TikTok. It's going to satirize world politics. It's going to satirize TV, music, radio, all this kind of thing. And so it does steal things from social media because that's the joke.
Yeah. I'm not going to really take too much from the trailer because
no,
I've always every GTA I've played pretty much since Grand Theft Auto 3, which is when they sort of changed to how they are now. I've always enjoyed them, so I imagine I'm going to enjoy this one as well. I mean, I enjoyed the bird's eye view ones as well on like the PlayStation.
Oh yes, they were good.
Original ones, but see, they went a different route, didn't they? When they since Grand Theft Auto 3, and they've sort of stuck with that sort of way. And sort of.
You know, there's going to be a good quality, don't you?
Yeah, it's going to be a game that is going to be a big game, I imagine.
And you notice I'm staying very quiet on this.
So who's going to play it then? I'm going to play it. Yep. Martin's going to play it. No, not interested.
I am sure it's going to be an amazing game and graphically incredible, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just one of those games that
it's never really grabbed you.
Leads kids into the wrong ideas about what's acceptable, what's not. I'm going to kill my gaming cred here, and I just think it's one of those games that too many parents do not restrict their kids from playing and should.
I agree. Yeah.
And
I knew somebody who worked in the local game store. Not very well, but I chatted to them about things like gaming, and they said the amount of parents that come in and just little Timmy's there who's about 9 years old, and they go, and they'll say, "Oh, you know, this has torture, male, like rape, torture, violence, all sorts in these games."
Yeah.
And they'll go, "Oh yes, but little Timmy really wants it." It's like, are you listening to what I'm saying? Now, one thing I would say is my 5-year-old, I have let him play the races on GTA. Because on GTA Online, you can play racing games. Yes, you can play games where you're shooting and all this kind of thing. But there isn't any swearing. I turn off any voice chat. And technically, my 5-year-olds play GTA.
I mean, I wouldn't let my children play it, but I do hold the opposite opinion that people play games, it doesn't mean they become bad people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any link to it.
Yes,
say. I mean,
I'd agree with both of you.
When I
just think that if you're allowing your kids to play this, you're saying subconsciously to your kids that those types of things are acceptable in society. And it may not be the masses that have that connection to it, but there will be a handful of people in different towns across the country that will say, that's acceptable, and they will go out and commit those crimes, and it will lead to other things. And I know it sounds really lame, but I just can't bring myself to play things like that I think lead to those things.
I agree that there will be people, they will be a minority, but I think those people would exist regardless of Grand Theft Auto or not.
I think it exacerbates.
Probably the crime level and stuff like that has happened throughout time where we haven't had games like that. And I played, and I mean, when the original Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, I was sort of not on age where I shouldn't have been playing it. My mum, she just didn't really know about it, so she I can't really. I was just like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. Remember, Manhunt was the one where I got that, and I was like convinced her. I was like, it's not that bad. It's all. And she walked in. I had a carrier bag around someone's guy's head. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, like the worst time for her to walk in. And then, yeah, she actually did stop me from playing that game. That was the only time where she ever
And that's the thing, I think you're not wrong, Tom. I don't think you're wrong. Yes, I think exactly. Your kids are not going to go out and murder somebody because they play GTA. I know your kids, and they're good kids.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when yours get bigger, Martin, yours are not going to be people. But at the same time, there are people out there, yes, who are just like, yeah, whatever, yeah, do whatever you want, kind of thing, and they just allow their kids to do whatever they want, and or you get the parents who are like, I don't know what to do. My child is doing whatever they want. So you mean your child that sits in their room and plays on their PlayStation as soon as they come home from school and whatnot?
And there's something to be said for that as well, isn't there? Yeah. The isolation around gaming and things. And then we're probably getting a little bit serious here, but I mean, my kid will sit upstairs and play the PlayStation 5, then the Steam Deck, then his phone, and then he's online to his WhatsApp group and things. And actually, I'm like, right, now come and spend some time downstairs. Yeah. And I think a lot of kids nowadays aren't. They're in their bedrooms and they're stuck there playing their games, and that becomes their reality.
I think online gaming is like sort of exasperated that even more, isn't it? Because when I was younger, I think everyone, like when you look back, and again, this is going off always everyone goes and you see these Facebook memes, whatever, like back in my day, we used to play out on the streets and stuff like that. And we didn't have computers and all that. Though I grew up in the 90s, so there was like the PlayStation, the Sega Saturn, the Nintendo 64, and actually some of my best memories with my friends comes from playing games with my friends. So all of us playing GoldenEye, all of us playing Take It Internal, Crash Bandicoot, or whatever, or those more. Whereas I think nowadays, because you don't
go out as
online.
much.
If you wanted to play together, you had to meet up. And I mean, I was from a village, so everyone lived really close to each other, so we'd all
local place for local people.
Exactly.
we should do a disclaimer though.
So basically, we would all just meet up. We'd all have WrestleMania 2000, and we would be there playing Royal Rumble or whatever. But
yeah, that's the thing. I think what we're saying is, if a kid is a good kid, then 99% of the time, don't let them play GTA. But equally, if they sneak it in, and let's face it, most kids are going to sneak in some kind of game, it ain't going to make most kids a murderer or even just violent or whatever. But at the same time, it might make your kids, think, it's all right. I go 70 miles an hour in GTA. It's fine. No, I've been in a crash. It ain't nice, even at 30 miles an hour. So it's there's no right answer, I don't think, because something like GTA, I think, has a place in entertainment history. And so, no, I don't want it to not exist. But at the same time, I think, yeah, it has to be restricted. Yeah, it has to have an age rating on it, and it has to have a majority of parents who go, no, you're a kid. I've had it recently with my 13-year-old wanting to play Phasmophobia. Now, he's played a few horror games, and I went, Phasmophobia? No. No, it's a proper sort of scary game. Yeah. So, no, I'm putting my foot down with that one.
My kids play Monkey Tag on, Gorilla Tag, sorry, on Quest, VR, Meta Quest. And today I was interested to hear the talking on it, and it was adults are now starting to play, and there's loads of swearing. And I'm like, these are grown men playing with little kids on a VR game. And I'm like, what are you doing in there? And why are you swearing? So I was like, off. You don't need to hear it. Get off the game. So,
yeah, I guess that also opens up another thing in terms of kids playing online games where they could potentially be exposed to
parental controls. Parental controls. The amount of people who I'm on gaming groups on Facebook, and the amount of parents who don't know about simple built-in parental controls, even whether it's Microsoft, Sony, Google, Apple, Oculus, whatever, they have parental controls, free parental control. And they're not people. You'll get some parents who'll be like, "Oh, well, I trust my children." Don't be. I'm not sitting there on my phone looking at what my stepson is doing. I'm not that. But at the same time, if I'm like, do you know what? I haven't seen him at all this week, or he seems to be acting a bit funny, I can go on and see what he's played. I can't see screenshots and all that, but I can. Yeah, if he's been playing something like GTA on the PC, I'd know. So,
and then you'd be asking him why he hasn't given you a go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've actually said to him, I said, I own GTA 5, and I said, you can play the online. I said, if you want, at 13. I said, but you can only do, I said, you can do the races. I said, or you can do other things with other online things with the chat turned off. As long as chat's turned off, you're fine. I said, but you can't play the story yet. You're too young. Yeah. But when he's probably 15, I will allow him, because we've watched some 15s with him, and yeah, he's fine. He's a massive nerd, so he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind me saying that, because he says he's a massive nerd. So
nothing wrong with a nerd.
Exactly. So anyway, that was GTA 6.
I ruined it. Sorry.
Just the Game Awards in general, in terms of, should we go through like the winners, or do you want to just go through the reveals?
Well, I think the big winner was game of the year, wasn't it? It was Baldur's Gate 3.
I was going to say it was a big night for the games that you play, Duncan, because Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year, and then Alan Wake 2 won quite a few.
Yeah, it won Best Direction, I think.
Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction.
It was, and those are all the ones. It's not the best game in terms of gameplay. It's very good gameplay, but Baldur's Gate 3 has the more open game, and just altogether is a better game. But the graphics and narrative and all that kind of thing in Alan Wake, fantastic game.
Hi-Fi Rush won Best Audio Design, which never played Hi-Fi Rush.
It was a music action. It was a music rhythm action game, so you had to attack people on the rhythm of the music, and I've got rhythm. So no, I wasn't very good at it. No.
I hear Alan Wake's getting a new Game Plus mode, which is a nightmare level.
Apparently adds a new narrative or new part of the story. So
that's it. Yeah, it's called the Nightmare level.
But should I put myself through that though?
Yes, completely.
It's just new.
It comes out tomorrow.
Ask you, Tom, because I know you're a big VR fan. Best VR game, Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
And it had Gran Turismo 7, Humanity, Horizon, Call of the Mountain, and
you have Humanity, don't you?
Yeah,
you have Humanity in VR.
I've not got it in VR because I don't have a PlayStation VR 2, but I hear it's coming to the Quest, so that's exciting.
Oh, is it cool? because that fantastic. We talked about that before. Basically,
Yeah.
lemmings with people.
Lemmings with people, definitely. And we've got a new Blade game coming out as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Arcane Studios.
Yeah. So hopefully
Is that
that'll be-
Xbox exclusive then? Or...
Well, yeah. The people they haven't specifically said it's exclusive. They've just announced it. And I'm leaning towards I think they probably will make it exclusive just because PlayStation's big thing is Spider-Man. So yeah, as well as God of War, which also had DLC. But so I think Xbox will go, yeah, we've got Blade, unless it's not very good.
And I know something that you both sort of I think you're quite excited for, Tom, and I don't think not so much for you, Tom. It's the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. I really hope it's got a VR mode on PlayStation.
Is it an RTS or is it an action game? Or have they not said? I didn't see that.
It's an adventure game. It's a survival adventure game. It's kind of a Resident Evil set in Jurassic Park. It's the dinosaurs.
It'd be like Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis then.
Yeah, maybe,
straight away.
It's set 1 day or 2 days after the first Jurassic Park movie. And I believe you play a female character who was a scientist that's trying to get back out of the island, which I can't remember the name of.
Isla something.
Islasaurus. But yeah, it's graphically okay. Most of it was a rendered run through.
Going to make a game like that in the early 2000s.
Isla Nublar.
That's the one. They made one on arcade.
And then, so is it going to be like that, or have they not revealed enough yet? I mean, I haven't actually.
Right at the end of the trailer, they showed a bit of gameplay, and it did look really good.
Okay, so, excellent.
We'll see. And obviously, you've got the Jurassic Park Classic set as well that's just come out, or just about to come out.
Oh, is it like the SNES game and all that? Those ones?
Yeah, it's got the Mega Drive, the Game Gear. I think, and I hope it's got the 3DO. Panasonic 3DO version, because that was an amazing game. But I'm not sure what's on it other to that. But
if we're going to go by Tom, though, what's best for Tom? Sega have got they're updating some of their biggest franchises. So we've got Shinobi. You want to see it? Looks like Dead Cells, basically. I think.
Thumbs up for that.
Yeah, thumbs up for that. Golden Axe, a 3D version of Golden Axe.
Love Golden Axe.
So. That's good.
Yeah. Crazy Taxi, which was already 3D and crazy. So I think thumbs up all around for that. Jet Set Radio. What looks similar, just updated graphics, but
looking forward to that one.
A few more mechanics. And Streets of Rage. All coming up to the 3D era.
Well, they had a Streets of Rage 4, didn't they? So
they did, but that was still sort of the 2.5D kind of thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game.
It was good. It was good. So, yeah, I mean,
I'm happy with
you guys, but I'd love any of them. And the fact that Sega...
Like big game or whatever they're doing, or are they going to be releasing them individually? Or...
I think, I think individually. I think Shinobi, as I said, looked a bit sort of like Dead Cells kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be some kind of roguelite, which means be a game that people can repeat over and over. But yeah, no, I think they're all going to be hopefully.
Rumor has it with Sega, they're going to be doing more than just those games over a period of time, with the idea being that they are going to release a virtual console.
Ooh.
That's the rumors I've been seeing on.
Do you think it'll be a bit like Ant-Arcade kind of thing?
Possibly. I think what they're looking at doing is updating their franchises so they can sell the old style with the new style and bypass the other machines by offering a streaming service or something like that. And I think it could really work.
Well, I think they've been very close to Microsoft recently, so I reckon they'll be all. I reckon they'll either be very close or they might have done a deal with Microsoft. Microsoft have gone, we'll throw some money if we can put them on Game Pass. Maybe.
Sega hasn't had a lot of money for many years, so
yeah. I mean,
you can
they're not
compare
about to go.
Atari.
They're not about to go bust, but they're not making hand over fist like they were in the 90s.
Game wise, I think you can compare them to the most recent Atari kind of game releases, things like that. That's the level they're at the moment. But merchandising wise, Sega's up there with Nintendo. So I think we're going to see a massive turnaround soon.
Now, if we're going to go by one that I keep my eye just always returns to, Supermassive Games in the world of Dead by Daylight, stupidly, because I'm stupid, a horror game, obviously.
Of course.
The casting of Frank Stone. So it's a horror game by Supermassive Games. So be a choose your own adventure, basically. In the world of Dead by Daylight, so it'll be a violent, gory, serial killer, supernaturally kind of murdery thing. Now, stupidly, it does keep. Yeah, I'm a wuss, but
I'm going to buy that for my 9-month-old.
she'll probably scream less than me.
And then she can lend it to your little one, Martin, and we'll be good.
So yeah, it looks very violent, very gory, and it's a Supermassive game. So it immediately for me went, yes, I want that.
There's another one.
An Outlast announcement.
There's a what?
There was an Outlast announcement, which I know.
Was there? I didn't see that one.
I know Duncan's a big fan of Outlast.
Yeah.
It was. I'm trying to think now. I think it was. Well, I'll try and find it. Outlast Trials is coming to consoles. Survival horror.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's on PC at the moment. It's like a group, an online Outlast game. Yeah. So
do you get to play with other people?
Yeah. So it's
been as scary if you're playing with other people.
I don't know. Well, Phasmophobia. I mean, that's a pretty scary game, and that's a online game. Yeah, but I'd be interested to play if it came to Game Pass with some friends, maybe, so they can hold my hand.
I'll pop round, but I'm not holding your hand. There's limits.
Well,
what about Thrasher coming out? It's a nightmare-inducing game, which kind of reminds me of an old Res game. It's coming out on VR. I'm just reading now. It's coming out on MetaQuest and other virtual reality platforms. It will arrive on consoles and PCs at a later date. It looks
a bit like Res.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Graphically, it looks amazing. So whether it's comparable on the MetaQuest versus like the other high-end VRs, and to say high-end VRs because the MetaQuest 3 is a high-end VR, but graphically, it's like Lego versus Technics Lego. It's nowhere near. But you put it on the PlayStation 5 and the VR on that, I think it'll look amazing, and Valve, obviously. So who's got another headset coming out soon? So that'll be good.
Possibly.
Oh.
I haven't confirmed anything.
But they have.
The announcement. Hideo Kojima. We saw his latest project, Xbox OD.
Yes. It's got the girl from. She was in It. She's in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. And what was the other one she was in? Dungeons and Dragons. It's something else. But anyway, So the redhead girl from the It movie, or the one with the horns in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I can't remember the.
I've not seen that one.
Name. It's actually it's good fun. It's cheesy, but it's Dungeons and Dragons, which is a bit cheesy, really.
And I heard that at the end they showed the characters from the cartoon. Am I right? Someone said there's a scene where you can see the cartoon characters in their outfits.
Maybe do you know what? I can't remember. It's not a classic, but it's a good fun film to watch with your kids, but not with the small kids because I think there might be a couple of rude words. Yeah.
And Hideo Kojima, I can't pronounce this now. Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
Thank you. Is getting a documentary on Disney Plus apparently next year. So I'm assuming
he doesn't really speak English, so that'll be a lot of translations.
Let's hope the guy that does Donald Duck translates it, because that'd be hilarious. But yeah,
Hideo Kojima is Donald Duck.
So he's going to be talking about lots of publishing and Metal Gear Solid and what was the other one he did? Death Stranding, I think.
Death Stranding, yeah. Well,
lots of things to come from him, so that'd be really good.
Just reading about this new game, it's going to be working with Oscar-winning director Jordan Peele.
Yes, he's helping writing it, and I mean, people have been doing everything from like in the trailer, it's just the girl's face, and she's talking, and the other guy in it is the German. I think he's German guy or Austrian, or I don't know. So Udo Kier. But anyway, they're talking, and then at the end of it, the girl. So, you hear a door, and then you see something in the girl's eyes, and then she screams, and it ends. And yeah, people are being, zoom and enhance kind of thing on her eyes, and it's so people are already tearing apart the video to find out all the secrets about it. But if Death Stranding is anything to go by, you won't understand it even when the game's coming out,
or when you've completed it. So.
Yeah.
A little update for Fortnite fans. I know there's about 1 billion of them, so hopefully they all listen to our podcast. That would be great. There is a racing game coming to Fortnite.
Yes, I heard that.
So you'll be able to race around Phoenix Falls track starting 2 days ago in a rocket racing mode. Looks quite good, actually.
They've had all sorts recently, haven't they? They had the concert with Eminem. They've had this OG Fortnite. There's the Lego Minecraft, Lego Fortnite, which is basically, people have been saying is like Minecraft. And then also I saw today that there's like a rhythm game also in their section. So, blimey, I think they're just trying to take over gaming with Fortnite, which they already sort of have. But it's if you like a genre, it's on Fortnite. Which
it's quite good. I think it's better. I don't know. I mean, my kids play.
I don't hate Fortnite. I just have no interest in the build. Yeah, the build. The build one.
When you were building, that's why I prefer. I don't really play any of those games, but if I did, it was usually Apex or the Warzone were the ones, because you could just do it without having to build stuff.
I liked Rainbow Six.
You don't have to build in Minecraft or in Fortnite now.
Yeah, there is a no builds version.
There's a no build one. Yeah,
which is more for the dads. I know the dads groups I'm on. A lot of the dads are like, I much prefer the no builds. Yes.
Yeah. Interestingly, Martin, sorry, silent subject there. The Rogue Ally got a price cut. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh no, I didn't.
Now
did he get a price cut, or did he get a sale price?
No, he got a price cut to 400 apparently. Well, that's the post I saw. Whether it's true or not, I'm actually
that's pretty good. I did see that it was on sale, which I mean at that price it was.
It's a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
Pretty good.
I wouldn't have bought a new TV though. Now, I wouldn't have got this. The new TV, the Samsung. I made sure that it was a Samsung TV because I googled what TVs have Game Pass, and apparently all Samsungs do. So
I was going to say all Samsungs do. I think some LGs do.
Yeah, well, I just thought I could play it safe and go because I was like, I could get an LG,
play it safe. It's a good
and
idea.
end up with no Game Pass on it. So I know better ways I could have got it. But.
So, I mean, obviously, Martin has said that he has got to head off. So we will just quickly go through. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons remake. Interested in that? I am, personally. Love that game. Absolutely brilliant game. 50-50. You control two characters, one with each stick. Very good puzzle game. Rise of the Golden Idol. Anybody? No, Curse of the Golden Idol sequel. It's a murder mystery. Any other big ones? World of Goo 2. That's a sequel that nobody asked for. Apparently
Space
we're getting.
Marine 2. I saw there's a
There's
Marine.
Space Marine. There's a couple of Warhammer games coming out. As Dusk Falls is coming out for PS5. The Skull and Bones has got a release date, the 16th of February, 2024.
There's a new game by No Man's Sky. The people who made
yes, of course. So, it's called Light No Fire. Is that the one?
Yes, it is. Yeah, hopefully.
Their
launch will go a bit more successfully.
They've learned from doing a whole universe of planets. They're just doing a whole world this time. But it's got a narrative as well. So more of a narrative than No Man's Sky. I'm very much intrigued by it. Very much intrigued. And there was 2 shadow drops. Baldur's Gate 3 is now out on Xbox. So you could also, if you want, get that if you have an Xbox. There was also a PvP online free-to-play game called The Finals, which by the looks of it, looks like Overwatch meets Rainbow Six Siege. So it's got destructive environments, literally everything. You can have a character that runs through walls, and you could just aim at a wall and straight through it. So yeah, if you like PvP, The Finals.
I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest 3. It's getting a HD 2D remake. And looking at some of the screens, it looks amazing. So
then, are you excited by is it Visions of Mana? Yeah, Visions of Mana, which is the first Mana sequel in 15 years.
Yeah, I am, and I'm also looking forward to the Splinter Cell remake, which is coming.
Right.
Yeah, we spoke about the Splinter Cell a few weeks ago. Remember, we couldn't remember the name, but they are doing a fresh spin even on the franchise, and that's I think it's even got some of the original team anyway is involved, and it's going to be using the Snowdrop engine.
Well, I was going to say the thing about the first one, I remember it coming out, was just the graphics. It may not look like it now, but the graphics of the first one on the original Xbox were amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. And then it played really well. So fingers crossed they can do something.
But I do need to head off.
Right.
I've gone 3 minutes over, so I'll leave the podcast in both of your capable hands.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to do on this day, but I was just having a quick look. But 30 years ago today, Doom came out.
Ooh. Yes, I heard about this.
Big game.
The
original PC. So
nice.
I remember getting loads of WADs on 1.44 megabyte discs on 3.5-inch discs and whatnot.
Sorry.
So
don't want to just go.
Bye.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
And speaking of Doom, the original Doom is getting an ultimate update with better graphics, some missing stuff that only was on the Jaguar release.
Isn't there already an ultimate Doom?
I think this is official, but I could be wrong. So
no, there was Ultimate Doom. I think you actually could buy Ultimate Doom.
I think you could, but this one is.
So this is the ultimate Doom.
Yeah. Isn't Metal Gear Solid getting another game as well?
Well, does Kojima own that, or do Konami own Metal Gear? Because I know that obviously there's a Silent Hill game in the works.
Yeah, and the remake of Silent Hill 2.
So I think Konami own Metal Gear. I think.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Apparently, that's what's coming.
That sounds like it's going to be one of these things that's like all action and no confusing storyline. Which you can't have a Metal Gear Solid game without a really confusing storyline that you have to look on Google as to what it means.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I remember the PlayStation 1 that came as a boxing, and it took so long to load. They had like a 3D render of his face, and you could do anything to his face. You can mess around with it. but it took so long for the game to load. By the time you'd finished, you just wanted to destroy him. So
I won't tell you where my mind went there when you said you could do anything to his face and mess with it. No, yeah, no, I'm not going to go there. No, the first one, as in Metal Gear Solid, not as in Metal Gear. First Metal Gear Solid was not that confusing. It's only really since I think Metal Gear Solid 3 really where you had, I think, cutscenes. Do you know, I've never completed Metal Gear Solid 3.
I haven't. No.
Or 4, actually. Or 4.
Already.
I've completed 5, but generally, yeah, I've heard that there were 20-minute cutscenes or something on Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah.
And no one wants that.
No, I can't even cope with life for that long, let alone game.
There's one thing that Hideo Kojima does. It's how can I put it nicely? Intricate storylines. Let's just say that.
He goes on a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's yeah.
Bless
Sometimes you just want somebody to go, I'm a goodie, I'm going to punch baddie in the face. Especially as I've got older. As I've got older, I just want to punch a baddie in the face. And I want the baddie to not punch back that much. That's why I'm not really a Soulsborne person.
Who has the patience? That's the thing. So lots of exciting things coming out over the next couple of years, I would say. And so obviously more to be announced early next year.
Well,
so
I think we'll seeing as Martin is here, we'll go on to something more obscure. You were saying that there's a magazine coming out.
There is.
Now, is it well? Before we start, is it a British one or American one or?
I don't know.
Oh, you're not sure? No, I wasn't sure either. So
I was never really a Sega man when it came to magazines, if I'm honest. But I always liked the obscure magazines, But this looks good.
Sega Force.
Yeah. Now
I haven't heard of this one because during the 90s, anybody who's probably younger than. Probably Martin is probably just at the right age where anybody younger than him is probably doesn't know about all the magazines. You could go in and there was a gaming section that was probably 20 magazines wide because you'd have about 10 different Nintendo ones. You'd have probably less, but 5, 6, 7 different Sega ones. And then even when the Mega Drive was still out and everything, you'd still have Spectrum ones, you'd have Amiga ones, you'd have Atari ones, you'd have PC ones.
Yeah.
And so they were massive sections of in the UK, WH Smiths. You go to WH Smiths and you'd stand there and read. And all the people who worked there would glare at you. And as you went, what are you going to do about it? I'm reading magazine.
And now you just log into Readly, but still, So it's published by Europress originally, and brand new one is done by Fusion Retro Books, which is interesting because I know the guy that runs that, and he may be an interview we're having on in the new year. And it's a bi-monthly 60-page A5 magazine devoted to retro home review.
They have a link on their website, and it's got to the Wikipedia. It is from the United Kingdom.
It is.
It was only out for a year and a half, 19 issues. It is a bit of a strange one to bring back, isn't it?
It is. These are the guys that run the Amstrad magazine and the Spectrum magazine, the Fusion.
Oh, okay. So it's a bit like the coffee book kind of things. That's their thing.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, who runs Fusion Books, is an incredible guy. And he did all the Ocean Software books, US Gold, things like that. And you can go to, actually, it's one of my bugbears. You can go to WH Smith and they put the Fusion Amstrad magazine in the comic section. It's really irritating. But it doesn't go in the gaming
There
section.
is still a gaming section. There's about 6 gaming magazines still going.
I don't think they realise it's a gaming magazine.
But then again, who goes into WH Smith's anymore? I think the only people that generally go into there are not people who, like when we were 16 years old or even 13 years old, we were going in there because that's where you found the information from.
That's where I was buying my Amstrad games from at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I go in there to get a couple of magazines that aren't on Readly, but they have to be like, they've got Amiga magazine, or I think it is, and they've got another one that's all about it's retro tech and gaming, and it goes into graphics and things like that. I can't remember the name of the magazine, but they also have Fusion. And I am pedantic, and I did say to the manager, "What's that doing over there?"
Was this in our town's WH Smith?
It was, yeah.
But then again, they're probably an older person or somebody who that does that section and puts them out. Is like, I don't know what this is.
It must be a porno. So.
But no, it looks good. It's like a traditional 90s magazine.
Yeah.
But it's obviously nowadays it's a history, and as one of the words that use it's a retrospective on Sega.
Yeah.
And I don't think they think of it to, it's going to be a few episodes, is it? A few issues.
They're going to see how successful it is, I think, and then they're going to look at what they can do with it or not.
At the end of the day, you've got a finite amount of information from the past. So
it's going to be $4.99. I mean, you can't go wrong for $4.99. I think they may even have a Nintendo one in the works as well, from what I'm aware of.
Just so people, well, in case people think we are not sponsored by these people, this is just something that we've found.
Yeah. So we will. Well, I might pick up the first issue, just for.
I mean, if they wish to send an issue, contact us on Facebook, and we'll most likely give a very positive review.
Interestingly, I'm just looking at this now. Oh no, it is now available. It is now available. So originally they were asking people to pledge things, and they had £2,000 almost pledge to get this released. So I think
is it like Kickstarter?
Yeah, so I think they've got a few issues in them to go. So how expensive can it be to run per issue? I can't see it being much. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I do like having the coffee book, the bitmap book, point and click, sort of reinvigorated my reading, because I certainly had stopped reading things, and the bitmap books point and click that I've got, it's fantastic. It's interviews and whatnot, and I really like it when they because nowadays when you're interviewing people who were probably in their 20s or 30s back in the 80s and 90s, they're now in their 50s, 60s or whatever. And it's just interesting to find out what it was like, because people say about how games are buggy nowadays, and it's like, well, because back in the day there would be one person for art, one person for programming, one person for sound, and then one person for managing them and making sure everything was fine, and that would be a game. And at most, if there was a big budget game, they might have, I don't know, we might be able to ask somebody in the future, but there might be 15 people working on a game. Nowadays, if you have less than 15, you people working on a game, you're big news, because you're an indie developer working by yourselves, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a big budget nowadays, isn't it? There's very few indie developers that make their mark, because it's very hard to do so. So
it's hard to get noticed. I mean, if you go on itch.io, however you pronounce it,
you should see a doctor about that.
It's awash with thousands and thousands of bedroom developers, and unfortunately it shows, because most of what's on there is tap, but there are gems on there And sometimes things like Stardew Valley, yeah, that was one guy, literally one guy. But anyway, yeah, and I love reading things, and you find out things about like the point and click games that I'd never heard about. And I can imagine this kind of magazine is you hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I like hearing stuff about the development behind things like FMV games and failed consoles and peripherals that they never released and things like that. So it'd be interesting to see what we get on there. So maybe we can review the issue.
Well, I mean, if you want to, we should link them into and say we were chatting about them.
Yeah, or I'll give Chris a call or a message even and see if we can review the magazine.
Have a good read.
Yeah.
So well, I think it's been a busy week in terms of reveals, and yeah, as dads, I think we're mixed reviews of the GTA 6 reveal, but I think we're all on the same wavelength with that generally.
Yeah.
And yeah, gaming dads, gaming awards. Sorry, gaming dads. That's got that on got that on the screen in front of me. Gaming awards. Yeah, there were so many reveals. I would say one thing is, I think I said to you earlier, is that most of it was cinematic trailers. There was, it was probably sort of 80% cinematic trailers, and some of them did have like a few seconds, and I wasn't particularly impressed with that. But
who knows?
You know, it was good to know that these games are coming, and
I'm looking forward to playing the new Avatar game. I haven't bought it, but I'm going to.
Well, apparently, it's getting okay reviews. It's nothing special. I think that's the thing. People say reviews are saying that it's beautiful. It is one of the best looking games you'll be able to buy. Because that's the film. The film is one of the best looking films you'll be able to see.
Yeah.
But it isn't going to be one in 10 years' time. You're not going to be playing it going, oh my God, do you remember this? Most people will go, yeah, I remember that. It was all right.
Interestingly, an article I saw the other day. Do you remember MotorStorm on the PlayStation 3?
Yes.
And someone was saying
MotorStorm Pacific Rift as well.
Yeah, that's it. And there was another one that was set on the PSP in like an ice environment. But anyway, someone was saying that although it's aged quite considerably, graphically it still holds up, and also gameplay wise, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they were show off games. MotorStorm games were show off games for the PS3. I mean, the thing is, when in the days of things like your grid games, your Forza Horizons, your Gran Turismos and whatnot, it's no one's going to go back to that because there's nothing else.
Yeah,
you're going to go back to it and go, wow, that's if you appreciate that kind of graphical level, you're going to appreciate that.
Yeah, I still have my PS3. And it doesn't go anywhere. For sentimental.
I never owned one.
Did you not? Well, no. I told the story about my mum purchasing one in Gibraltar for me.
Yes.
But it has a copy of the remake of Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion on it, and which you can't get anywhere now apart from on Steam Deck. And I tend to keep it just for that game. So it's still
go up in here.
Yeah, I mean we've got it on the Steam Deck as well. My son owns a Steam Deck.
Only go up by £10 in 20 years, but it'll go up in value.
It will, yeah. But, I did make my son download it on the Steam Deck, and then he swiftly deleted it and told me I could download it to play it when I wanted to. So, but yeah, it's not the same. But there we are. So,
excellent.
All good.
But we already did 30 years of Doom. 30 years of Doom. That's pretty good. As I said, I remember the WAD files having had mods on the front of magazines.
Yeah,
where that you used to get, and it would. My favourite one ever was the Beavis and Butthead. And it would have like, and then I think I had a friend as well who had an Alien mod. So you had an alien mod with the Beavis and Butthead. So you had the Xenomorphs go around going, I'm gonna kill you. And then they're like, oh god, this a bit like when I put one of the scariest things I've ever done was put the Teletubbies on Left 4 Dead 2.
That does sound scary.
Oh my god. Just hearing literally, you got 40 or 50 zombies coming towards you and they're all going, so you've got that 40 times going off, all coming at you. Oh god, it's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And I'm not even exaggerating that being a wuss. Install that for Left 4 Dead 2. And anybody should install the Teletubbies mod on Left 4 Dead 2, and it is terrifying. Oh,
have your Xanax ready though?
should have thinking about it. Right. Anyway,
just a brief quick mention that I remember with Doom hacking my SPV mobile phone. Like
the PDA kind of
no,
thing.
it wasn't. It was the first Microsoft mobile phone, and it had MSN Messenger on it, and it had the browser and stuff like that. But it was the first mobile phone. It wasn't touchscreen. It was a proper mobile phone, and it had a clip-on camera. That's how bad it was. I loved it. It was plastic. And we were in a forum called Modico forum, and we spent a lot of time trying to get Doom working at full speed. And eventually we all succeeded between us with the code and stuff. And we had a full version of with Doom and Quake as well. And you could play online. So it was,
nice.
Other SPV users. So yeah, I'd quite like to own one of those.
I had it had various names. It was the PDA that you could have on Orange.
The iPad.
No, I'm talking.
Oh, the XDA.
Yes, it was that kind of era, and it might have been the XDA 2.
So the XDA
it had Tomb Raider on it. You could have Tomb Raider.
That's it. Yeah. So you had XDA, which was a single screened one, and the XDA 2 had a flip up screen that could do a 360.
No, I had the original XDA then, but I had the version that was, because it was depending on who you had it with, was different. I think mine was the orange. That's why I think it was SPV, because I think the orange one was called the Orange SPV M2000 or something like that.
That's it,
but it was the same thing, I think. And but yeah, all those. I remember having PC games on that, like Tomb Raider, and there might have been like SimCity or something like that.
Oh,
it was just amazing. It was like, oh my god! And then now I look at the Steam Deck and think, my god, those XDA and whatnot were rubbish.
For me, it was just having a phone that had MSN Messenger built in. I've just sent you a link, Duncan, to the picture of the SPV on the video. But yeah, to have MSN Messenger on the move using GPRS. That was phenomenal.
Or so. MSN Messenger. I mean, it's one of those ones where at our age we'll go, kids nowadays, they won't get it, will they?
They won't.
It was text messaging, but you could only do it on a computer. So the fact that you could do it on a phone, wow!
I remember coming home from Lakeside in Thurrock in Essex, and on the train, and the GPRS was not as fast as the train. So you'd get to your station, the GPRS would catch up finally. Just as you were leaving the station, you get all your messages through all at once. Yeah.
All right. I think that's 53 minutes, and we've done 23 minutes without Martin, which I'm sure hopefully Martin will be back for the next episode.
Yes.
And then Christmas, I think we are going to pre-record. So, for all those people who are really desperate to listen to us on like Christmas Eve and New Year's Day or something like that, I don't know. But if you are, maybe
we'll have 2 episodes for you.
We'll hopefully have. I don't think they'll be particularly long episodes, but we will have something.
A Christmas-themed episode. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, Christmas. Anyway, we'll keep that secret for actually releasing that point.
We will.
Right.
And on that note,
like and subscribe.
Goodbye now.
Bye.